The Spotlight Paradox: How Local News Found Money but Lost the War. A news outlet in Silicon Valley hit 2.3 million readers. Their revenue jumped from $379,000 to over $1 million in just 4 years. They won journalism awards. They broke stories that led to lawsuits against the mayor. And yet, they remain fragile, underfunded, and fighting for survival in a region where billions flow through tech venture capital every day. This is the story of San José Spotlight, and how proving your model works doesn't mean you'll survive. In 2016, Ramona Giwargis was a reporter at the Mercury News covering San Jose city politics. She interviewed Josh Barousse, a local man running for city council. He lost. They fell in love. By 2017, both had left the Mercury News. They moved to Las Vegas and discovered something that would change their thinking: the Nevada Independent, a non-profit newspaper that was actually making money. The realization hit them hard. San Jose, the heart of Silicon Valley, home to the 10th largest city in America, had become a news desert. The Mercury News had gutted its local coverage. Nobody was watching City Hall. Nobody was holding power accountable. A city of over 1 million people was flying blind. Giwargis and Barousse decided to rebuild what was broken. In January 2019, they launched San José Spotlight. No paywall. Free journalism. Funded by donations, grants, corporate sponsorships, and advertising. It was the non-profit newspaper model, transplanted from Las Vegas back to Silicon Valley. The results looked good on paper. By 2023, the Spotlight had 2.3 million readers. Their newsletter hit 13,000 subscribers. They grew their staff to 2 full-time editors and 7 reporters. They won awards. They published in English, Spanish, and Vietnamese to reach their community. They had a board. They had donors listed publicly. They had legitimacy. Then came the real work: accountability journalism. In 2020, CEO Giwargis discovered that San Jose's mayor, Sam Liccardo, was excluding the spotlight from the city's daily news digest sent to staff. The city's excuse was official policy: they only included nationally recognized outlets. It was gatekeeping dressed as bureaucracy. Sue Cross, the Institute for Nonprofit News director, called it outdated and harmful to the public. Worse was coming. In 2021, the Spotlight broke a story that would define their purpose. Liccardo had been conducting official city business through his private email account and then deleting the messages. One conversation involved a constituent raising corruption concerns in the police department. The story wasn't just about careless record-keeping. It was about a mayor potentially hiding accountability under the guise of convenience. The story mattered. It led to a lawsuit filed in 2022 by the Spotlight and the First Amendment Coalition against Liccardo and the city of San Jose, alleging violations of California's public records laws. They had done it. They had found the corruption. They had published the truth. And the system had responded exactly as it should, with legal action and accountability. But here's what the numbers don't tell you: San Jose Spotlight succeeded at the thing that kills nonprofit news. They proved the model works. They hit 2.3 million readers. They made it past the critical failure point where most local newsrooms collapse. They're still operating. They're still reporting. And that success is precisely why they remain invisible to the only money that could save them. In Silicon Valley, venture capital doesn't fund things that are working modestly. It funds things that could be worth billions. A non-profit news outlet generating over $1 million in annual revenue from a community that spends billions on technology is, to the venture ecosystem, a rounding error. Not a bet. The deeper truth: Giwargis and Barousse built the exact thing they set out to build. They're executing the plan. The problem is that the plan has a ceiling. A non-profit model in an expensive city, run by 2 people who could have taken tech jobs for 10 times their current salaries, powered by donations and grants instead of venture capital, it works. It survives. It publishes truth. It just can't grow. And in a city where growth is the only metric that matters, a sustainable business that isn't growing is quietly starving. The real story of San José Spotlight isn't failure. It's incompatibility. They built a solution to a real problem, a news desert, using a model that works in Nevada but doesn't scale in a city built entirely around the assumption that everything should scale infinitely. They proved that local accountability journalism is needed. They proved that people will read it. They proved that it can be funded without paywalls. What they couldn't prove, what no nonprofit has proven in a tech hub, is that it deserves the same capital allocation as a software company. The lesson isn't about San José Spotlight. It's about what we've collectively decided matters. A city can run out of truth long before it runs out of money.